I am learning to solve two-step word problems. So we're still carrying on with that, but you will see a bit of a difference in this word problem because it doesn't sort of break it down into an A question and a B question. You've really got to analyse all the information that you've been given to work out how you're going to answer the question. So Dan and Scott compete in a race. They had to run from point A to point B and back again. The distance between point A and point B was 27 kilometres. When Dan had completed the race, Scott had only run 18 kilometres. How much further did Scott have to run to complete the race? So, we need to really read through this question again and think about what we need to work out first, okay? We need to work out how much further Scott had to run to complete the race. But we don't even know the distance of the race yet. So we need to go back to the start and we need to begin by working out the distance of the race. They had to run from point A to point B and back again. The distance between point A and point B is 27 kilometres. So whether they're running from point A to point B or from point B back to point A, the distance is going to be 27 kilometres either way. So we can draw this bar model here. We've got point A to point B. We know what that is. Point B to point A. We know how to work out the total. So pause the video and have a go at this question and then see if you can complete the bar model, which then works out how much further Scott has to complete the race. And we'll go through the answer to this in a second. So, as we discussed, the distance from point A and point B is 27 kilometres. So we know that the distance between point B and point A back again is the same. So the total bar here is 27 times 2, which is 54. So the total distance of the race is 54 kilometres. Now, in order to work out how much further Scott had to run to complete the race, we know the race is 54 kilometres. We know that when Dan had completed the race, Scott had only completed 18 kilometres. So how much further did he have to complete the race? Dan has completed the 54 kilometres and Scott has only completed 18 kilometres. So we have a part whole bar model here. We know the whole amount, 54 kilometres. We know that he has completed 18 kilometres, so we take that away to find the remaining part of the bar model, which is 36. So Scott had to run another 36 kilometres to complete the race. But we had to carry out this part first to work out the total distance of the race. That's why this was a two-step word problem. And hopefully you were able to see that why we needed to carry out this in order to be able to work this out. You can always pause the video, you can rewind and listen to it again and go through the workings if you're not sure about that. So the next example, Jack had 780 grams of tomatoes. He used 250 of them to make tomato soup. Then he packed the remaining tomatoes into 2 bags equally. What was the mass of each bag of tomatoes? So let's think about the facts that we know so far. Jack had 780 grams of tomatoes, so that's the total amount that he had. And he used 250 grams of them to make soup. He then packed the remaining tomatoes into 2 bags equally. So we know that we're going to be splitting something into 2 equal groups, but we don't know the mass that we're going to be sharing. So first of all, we have to work out the mass of the remaining tomatoes before we can then work out how much goes into each of these 2 bags. You've got your bar models, so think about what you need to work out first, the mass of the remaining tomatoes, and then you're going to share them into 2 bags equally. You've got your 2 bar models drawn, you've got them labelled, you need to work out what goes on each of these labels. So pause the video, read the question again, and have a good think about where these masses are going to go on your bar models, what you're going to use them to work out. Take your time, and then we'll go through the answers in a second. So hopefully you realised that we need to work out what mass of tomatoes rather he has left after he has made the tomato soup. That's the first stage of this word problem. So we know that the total that he had is 780 grams. He used 250 grams of those to make soup, so they're gone. So we need to take that 250 grams away from the 780 grams to find out what he has left. 780 take away 250 equals 530. So the mass of the remaining tomatoes was 530 grams. But we don't stop there because the question does not ask what the mass of the remaining tomatoes was. It goes on. Then he packed the remaining tomatoes into 2 bags equally. So this amount here, he is sharing into 2 bags. So we have a bar model here. We have our total amount that he's sharing, 530 grams, and we have the number of groups that he is sharing them into, 2. That means to find out what the amount that is in each group, we need to divide 530 by 2, and the answer is 265. So the mass of each of the bags of tomatoes that you shared them into is 265 grams. So here are a couple of word problems. In a second, I would like you to pause the video and have a go at. They will take you a bit of time, so please don't feel like you've got to start the video again in 10 seconds time. Read through them really carefully. Think about, what do I need to do first? So in the first question, a vet measured the mass of some animals. The sheep's mass is 63 kilograms. She is 3 times as heavy as her lamb. What is the total mass of the sheep and her lamb? So this is the question that you've got to answer. What is the total mass of the sheep and her lamb? But think about, what do you need to work out first before you can answer this question? We know the mass of the sheep. Do we know the mass of her lamb? We don't know the mass of her lamb, but we do know something that will help us work it out. So there is the first step of your word problem, and this is the second step. In the next question, Ahmed had 225 millilitres of juice in a jug to start with. He then poured 3 glasses of juice into the jug and filled it to the brim. Each glass contained 175 millilitres of juice. What was the capacity of the jug? So again, we don't know the capacity of the jug. We do know how much he had in the jug to start with. We know that he poured 3 glasses of juice into the jug, and that each of those glasses contained 175 millilitres of juice. So first of all, we need to work out what he added to the jug by pouring in these 3 glasses of juice. Then we need to work out the capacity of the jug by adding the total volume of what's been put into the jug. So you've got 2 steps again. Take your time, draw bar models to help you, and then we'll go through the answers on the following slide. So, the vet with some animals. In this question, we knew the sheep's mass was 63 kilograms and that she was 3 times as heavy as her lamb. So if we draw a bar model and we know that the sheep's mass is 63 kilograms and that she is 3 times as heavy as her lamb, we can work out how heavy her lamb is by dividing the sheep's mass by 3, because she is 3 times as heavy. So 63 divided by 3 equals 21 grams. Therefore, I know that the lamb's mass is 21 grams, but that isn't the question. The question is, what is the total mass of the sheep and her lamb? So now I need to draw a bar model, a part-whole bar model. I know the mass of the sheep. I know the mass of the lamb. So I know the two parts. I do not know the whole. So I need to add those two parts together and that will give me the whole. The mass of the lamb is 21 kilograms. The mass of the sheep is 63 kilograms. Therefore, the total mass of both of them is 84 kilograms. This question. Ahmed had 225 millilitres of juice in a jug to start with. He then poured 3 glasses of juice into the jug and filled it to the brim. Each glass contained 175 millilitres of juice. What was the capacity of the jug? So first of all, we need to work out what he poured into the jug. He poured 3 glasses, each with 175 millilitres in it. So here is my bar model. 1, 2, 3 glasses, each with 175 millilitres. I don't know the total, but I know that I've got 3 equal groups with 175 millilitres in them. So the 3 glasses contained 525 millilitres, 175 times 3, or 3 times 175. I now know the volume that he added to the jug, but there was some volume in there already. There was 225 millilitres of juice already in there. So to find out the capacity of the jug, because it's now been filled to the brim, because we've added these 3 glasses, we need to add together the amount that was already in there, this part, 225 millilitres, with the other part that was added, 525 millilitres. That will give us the total. And 225 plus 525 is 750. So the jug's capacity was 750 millilitres. So here are the questions that I'd like you to work out today. In your practice books, it's questions 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 only. And these are the only 2 sheets from today that I would like you to upload to Purple Mash. So you've got some word problems. They are all 2-step word problems. That means that you will not be able to answer the question at the end of the word problem straight away. You will have another step, something else you have to work out first. So think about what that first step will be before you tackle the word problem. And you have another question and then today's maths journal as well. So these 2 slides are the only ones that I would like you to put onto Purple Mash, and we'll go through the answers tomorrow. Good luck.